Hello, everyone. So, Germany seems to be hell bent on shooting itself in the foot, and they are going to pull the plug on three nuclear power plants of the remaining six. So, let's go through this article. As natural gas prices surge in Europe, Germany is kicking off the new year by moving ahead with plans to shutter three of its six remaining nuclear power plants, making good on the commitment made in the aftermath of Japan's disastrous meltdown at Fukushima Daiichi plant. The decision was championed especially vigorously by Greens, who are now helping to rule as part of Germany's new stop sign ruling coalition. So I guess this is being championed by Greens, who are part of a coalition. But soaring natural gas prices across Europe mean this concession to the environmental lobby couldn't come at a worse time. Yeah, no doubt about that. It's a decision that could have consequences for US. As we have complained before, the uh, AOC-backed Green New Deal mostly excluded nuclear and by far the most efficient and useful alternate to fossil fuels, instead choosing to rely solely on inadequate renewables. So it seems there are a few championing the same thing as well. And as Reuters adds in its report, Germany's decision to pull the plug represents an irreversible pivot away from an energy source deemed clean and cheap by some. Here is more from Reuters. Germany has pulled the plug on three of its last six nuclear power stations as it moves toward completing its withdrawal from nuclear power as it turns its focus to renewables. The government decided to speed up the phasing out of nuclear power following Japan's Fukushima reactor meltdown in 2011 when an earthquake and tsunami destroyed the coastal plant in the world's worst nuclear disaster since Chernobyl in 1986. The reactors of Brockdorf, and Gundremmingen, run by utilities E.ON and RWE, shut down late on Friday after 3.5 decades in operation. The campaign to shut down nuclear power in Europe's biggest economy isn't finished yet. Germany's last three nuclear power plants, Isar 2, Emsland, and Neckarwestheim, are set to be turned off by the end of 2022. So they plan on shutting down the remaining three by end of 2022. Perusian Electra, the company that runs the Brockdorf and Grande plants, said in a statement on Saturday that its two plants had been shut down shortly before the midnight on Friday. Meanwhile, RWE said Kundermingen C plant had also stopped generating power on Friday evening. Perusian Electra CEO Guido Not thanked his staff for their commitment to safety. We have made a decisive contribution to the secure, climate friendly, and reliable supply of electricity in Germany for decades. Now, this is the part that bothers me. The CEO is saying it's secure, climate friendly, and reliable. Why in the hell they are then shutting these plants down? They certainly avoided any major meltdown during the power plant's lifetime of active use. Just last week, Julian Geiger from oilprice.com wrote that Germany's latest push to greenify its grid at the expense of nuclear power couldn't be happening at a worse time. Yeah, no doubt. And instead of changing its energy policy to adapt to the times, Germany is stubbornly refusing to yield and making decisions it can't easily undo. Now the country is losing its reliable power source, just as Germany's baseload power for 2022 delivery, a European benchmark, hit a brand new contract high of 278.50 euros. It seems the baseload power cost is increasing and they are shutting down power plants, which helps with the baseload power. This is an increase of 10% as gas flowing through pipeline connecting Russia to Germany switched direction to flow eastward instead. And in an editorial published on New Year Day, no less than authority, no less than an authority, Washington Post editorial board opined that Germany was making a tremendous mistake, something that would place its people further in hock to the Russians. WAPO noted France is going in opposite direction, choosing to build more nuclear power plants. Those who don't know, France, majority of the France electricity power, comes from nuclear power plants. If I'm not mistaken, it's it's north of 70%, I think, is from nuclear power plants. And there is a reason for that. Trying to wean off an economy of coal and fossil fuels wouldn't just be impossible, it could be perilous without a contribution from the ever reliable nuclear sector. And this is the point I have been saying in my vlogs, that by all means do your virtual signaling or move to a cleaner sources of energy, great, but have the alternates ready, whatever you consider as clean. Don't start shutting down the power when alternates are not ready. It takes time to build the infrastructure. And if you will do something like this without alternates being ready, then it's going to cause availability issues, cost will increase, you will have to deal with potentially blackouts, brownouts. Anyway, let's keep going. Absent nuclear, Germany also depends more on nuclear natural Russian natural gas, a deep geopolitical vulnerability that gives leverage to Russian authoritarian government. True, the German government has committed to phasing out coal, but not until 2038. Even on this long frame, eliminating coal without help from nuclear power plants will be perilous for Europe's largest economy. Analysts warn that Germany's supply margin, how much electricity generation capacity that country has in reserve, could plummet in next couple of years, risking blackouts in times of grid stress. Yep, exactly the thing I just said. Next door, French President Emmanuel Macron is moving in the opposite direction, announcing plans for new nuclear reactors. So France is trying to build more nuclear reactors. France relies more on nuclear power than any other nation, a major reason for the country has about half the per capita greenhouse emissions than Germany. Mr. Macron rightly sees expanding the nation's nuclear capacity as a better alternate than attempting to rely on renewable alone. Solar and wind power will be essential pieces of a cleaner energy mix, but the grid will still require renewable, always on sources of electricity to back up intermittent renewables. And this is another key thing. Renewables, while they are great, but they are not available 24/7. For example, solar during the day only, wind only when wind is blowing, um, tidal when the tide is available, or tide is there. What else? Hydro when during the seasons when there is enough water, in the dams. And during summer season, the water goes down, then hydro also cannot help with the base load. And that's why the best are nuclear, coal, oil, and gas. And that's better it be nuclear than coal, oil, and gas. And these are the base loads. All four are base load power sources. It appears following the Netherlands' recent surprise flip-flop decision that nuclear power might be the Europe's only answer to the looming dependence on Russian gas. I did a video other day on Netherlands approving two more nuclear power plants actually for themselves. The question is it too late or too politically untenable for Germany to unflick this switch? It probably is. They have shut down way too many power plants. Anyway, there it is. Germany is going in its own direction and potentially shooting themselves um, in the foot. I'll keep you posted on European power crisis situation. They are having problems, and it's possible the if weather improves, Germany may not have to face any problem this year, but in long run, this can be a problem. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe, share, and comment, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.